few days from now, or say weeks, President William Ruto will constitute his cabinet and unveil to the public the 22 men and women who will help him implement his agenda. Among the 22 ministry is the Sports, Arts and Culture Ministry, which for long has been handed to men and women deemed not serious enough. As if that is not enough, the Sport Ministry has been treated for ages as a child of a lesser god. It has not only been granted measly budgetary allocation, but equally the pledges made by the subsequent regimes have come to naught. As if that is not enough, Your Excellency, some of the men and women who have been tasked with the sacred duty of leading this important docket have not been up to scratch in terms of policy and knowledge of the sports docket. This, despite the fact that world over, sports is a multi-billion-dollar industry employing tens of thousands, helping talented youth eke not just a living, but decent ones for that matter. Our world-beating athletes, soccer stars such as Michael Olunga and Victor Wanyama, just to mention but a few, are shining examples. It is on this premise, Mr. President, that we gently remind you that as you take over the mantle, the sports sector is bleeding. Our football is on its deathbed and need to be resuscitated. Hockey is in the ICU, while cricket is yet to recover from its terminal illness. Finally, Mr. President, the state of our sports facilities is appalling. As promised, alongside your predecessor, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta in 2013, to build 8 world-class facilities, the dream is yet to be actualized, making our country a crying shame as far as world-class facilities are concerned. We in the sports sector hope that your administration will move with speed and fix the mess. Sporty Monday begins now. My name is Isaac Swila. Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to the program. Arocho?
Yep, a very lovely opening speech. I think if the president has traveled out, somebody somewhere should have listened to what you've said.
Definitely.
Yes.
And we hope for action.
Definitely.
Steve Shitera?
Looks like an inauguration speech. I love it, and those are bare facts that we really need to face if we were to unlock the problems that are facing the Kenyan sports at large, leave alone football. We are having a rugby, which we used to pride in. We're being beaten left, right, center. So it calls for an urgent intervention.
Shitera, I mean, Kenda, you've been away for some time.
It's a great intro there. And it's available on Citizen Digital. If someone missed it, they can go and check it out on YouTube and share widely so that it can get to, I mean, the deputy president, I think, is in the country. So I'm sure he's...
The acting president.
Yeah, so everyone...
Rigiji.
Yeah.
They want to use that name, Rigiji, because... But I'm sure the message is home. Sports ministry has been, I mean, those who have been in charge of it, as you put it rightly, maybe don't really understand the passion, you know, when it comes to sports in the country. So, as I said, it's available on Citizen Digital. Go watch it, share widely, and think about it.
Yeah. Share widely, think about it, call to action, something will be done. But gentlemen, to get us going, first of all, talk to us at Citizen TV Kenya, at Isaac Swila, at Willis Raburu. We're going to engage you and let's have an interesting conversation. Arocho, to get us going, Malkia Strikers, today we begin volleyball. Actually, in Serbia, for build-up matches ahead of the World Championship to take place in the Netherlands. And they won last night after losing the first match. But basically, a build-up match heading to the World Championship. Basically, what's the expectation of the team?
Well, I'm expecting a lot, though we started on a wrong footing. Our movement to the preparation was not good. Initially, the team was stuck. But fortunately enough, they made it to the preparations. I've been watching some of their clips, and I think it's a very good environment. First of all, just being out there with the facilities that we are seeing. I think it will give us an edge over any other team that might not have gotten such an opportunity. Though we've not been performing well, for me, I think we reached our peak, and we just need to do something different to move to the next level. But our volleyball, in a nutshell, I think we stagnated somewhere. If you may ask me, we stagnated. I think we also need to give the men a push because we've seen a lot of emphasis on the ladies' side. But I had an interview with one of the coaches, and they told me that it's not because they are relying, they are favoring the ladies. I think the performance from the ladies' side has been excellent over years, but we just need to do something to move it to the next level. So we need to start winning matches, and not only winning matches, proceeding to the next level of the tournaments.
Interesting points you've raised. He feels the ladies are given more push, Shitera. Do you agree with that? Is it that they're given more push? Is it that there's more talent there? Is it about the coaching? Is it about the tactics? What's really lacking? Because Malkia are doing very well, but the men's side struggling, literally.
I think the ladies volleyball team, I would say, is the talent. And probably they are giving it a more serious approach than the men. So I think the men's side needs to change their tact and approach to this thing so that they can rise up to the same level with the women. I'm loving it because, you see, we'll say the same thing on the other side. Let's say in football, the Kenyan team has dominated, but we've seen Harambee Starlets coming up. So it's a matter of injecting a little bit more energy into it. Probably they are not taking it seriously, but the space is there. Let them take it up. Malkia, locally, they perform very well. I'll give you an example with the just concluded Olympics in Tokyo. Their performance was not that good. I think the exposure, the facilities, as he said, because probably when we compete continentally, let's say in Africa, we are the same level in terms of infrastructure. Probably Egypt and South Africa a little bit higher than us, but on average, I would say the infrastructure is the same. And as going back to your opening remarks, I think that is where we need to start. The facilities that we are using for volleyball, I would say today,
are dilapidated.
Dilapidated. They were built, the best we have were built by the late President Moi in 1987. And I think this is where the president needs to pick up. We faltered in the previous regime, 10 years. In as far as sports infrastructure, we wasted. We are in a new 10 years or 5 years. I would pledge the incoming sports minister, and I said it before, let the president take it as his own project. And once we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, he can leave it to the ministry. Probably he will have it in the Ministry of or Office of the President. Take it up as a project. Infrastructure in Kenya is wanting. Remember, when Gor Mahia was playing Everton some years back, we had to move the match to Tanzania, the National Stadium in Dar es Salaam, because we did not match the quality of infrastructure Everton were looking for. So I would say, as far as I am concerned, because I love football, I follow football, we do not have a world-class stadium that can host a FIFA-sanctioned match. So that is where we are coming from. Infrastructure will really affect our performance. And I've just given the example with Malkia Strikers. Look at the infrastructure we are talking about. When they go out, they are more shocked than prepared for the matches.
Kienda, Shitera says they're more shocked with the better facilities out there. But what are Malkia's chances? Look at Group A. Of course, we have the Netherlands, who are the hosts. Italy, the European champions, a giant for that matter. Belgium and, of course, Cameroon have been our biggest challenge in Africa, and as well as Puerto Rico. do we have a chance of making it out of this group?
I think we'll beat Cameroon. That's the team I'm sure we're going to beat. Cameroon, those are our customers. We're going to beat them. I mean, let me begin by saying that it's a shame that Malkia strikers have to go to Brazil to get the facilities that they're likely to, I mean, to fill the environment that they're likely to get in when it comes to the World Cup. And he said there's so much we are lacking behind when it comes to infrastructure. Have they trained well? Yes, we've seen, because Brazil is one of the best teams when it comes to volleyball. So even the teams in Brazil, I mean, they've played a couple of friendly matches there. They've won some, they've lost some. But at least they've had that feeling of what it means to play in the World Cup. I think we've only won one match, the World Cup, and that was against Cameroon, which is the team that we beat in the African Championship final. So I think we beat Cameroon, but when it comes to Italy, when it comes to Netherlands, those people are just on a different level. Let's not put so much pressure on Malkia strikers, but what have they gained during their 2 months camp in Brazil? The exposure they've gotten is so high. The same way people say 50-50. Let's now see the 50-50 when it comes to supporting the men volleyball. Because GSU have been dominating for the last 5 seasons. I think they've won. I mean, there's talent when it comes to the men. What is Bitok doing that the technical bench, maybe for the national men's team, are not doing? The Bitok scouts. I'm sure if he was in Kenya, angekuwa Nakuru, angekuwa pia Arusha. Because of one thing, he's passionate about volleyball. You saw what he did when he went to Rwanda for 10 years. Before even he said that enough is enough, let me now go and develop volleyball in Kenya. I mean, Rwanda wanted to give him at least, I think, 10 more years to develop. And at some point, you could see the Rwanda national team dominating Kenya and the region. So whatever he's trying to do with Malkia strikers, it's not that there's no talent when it comes to the men volleyball. There's so much talent. But at least they need to copy what Malkia strikers and their technical bench are doing. At the same time, the Volleyball Federation needs to invest equally when it comes to the men volleyball team, because, and in terms of infrastructure as we put it, when it comes to the national leagues, watu wanacheza kwa grounds huku nje, open grounds. Kienda pale
football pitches are converted.
Yeah, indoor games have been neglected in this country big time. So I mean, I doubt even ukiangalia Ngong Road sahi hata hiyo kiwanja vile ya rugby hatuwezi sema tiko up to standard. But as you put it in the opening remarks, that proper infrastructure needs to be put in place, both for indoor and outdoor games. It doesn't have to be a 60,000 stadium capacity stadium, even 20, even 15, more.
Even 5.
I mean, Rift Valley, people love volleyball big time. Western, let me be very specific. Malava boys have dominated volleyball for quite some time. There's no proper infrastructure in Kakamega. So tusiweke tu pia kwa national government, tuangalie pia county government zenye ziko passionate aje about developing sports. With the more infrastructure we have, the more talent is going to be nurtured. So I think the message is home, and all the best to Malkia strikers, but let's not put much pressure on them. It comes to, I mean, Bitok said when they were leaving Brazil to heading to Serbia, he said that his target is to reach the next round. Even if they will lose against the top sides, but let's see what they've gained. Is there progress? Let them expose their talent there. You never know who's watching. So it's a big platform for them to expose themselves. But it's also a shame that they didn't get allowances from the government. I mean, they're saying Volleyball Federations is the one that was sponsoring the camp in Brazil. But now the allowances. No one is talking about.
But again, it's so unfortunate because look at the plans that people are talking about. We've just had the leadership of the National Assembly discussing various issues, but we've not heard them discussing about sports. Even for the last 5 months of the campaigns into the presidency, we've not heard anyone talk about the investment in sports, which is a very, very serious concern.
Aracho, having a look at the squad, and we're having the names rolling on the screen, you talked of transition, but look at the squad we have. Massimo Im, of course, a veteran in this trade, leading the squad. But look at some of the names in that squad. Kianda talked of you never know who is watching. And if you can see the setters there, we cover Immaculate Nekesa and Veronica Kilabat. Then opposite attackers, there's Sharon Chepchumba, who is really chiseled her name in that squad and earned her place. There's Evelyn Makuto. Then in terms of libero, there's Agrippina Kundu, Yvonne Wavinya, middle blockers, Edith Mukuvilani, Gladys Ekaru, Lauren Chebet, and Belinda Baraza. Then the liberos, you can see right there on screen. Basically, what do you expect from this squad? Does it meet your expectation, a blend of experience and new talents? Kenda mentioned you never know who is watching, and probably from this assignment they could earn deals with the top clubs in Europe.
Yeah, what I like about volleyball in this team, also the ladies' side, is the fact that their transition is normally very smooth. They bring in new young blood into the team, unlike these other sports. And I think this has always been their main their strength within the region because of the various names, the various names you've seen there. Other than Moim, I think most of them are just relatively young players who are coming into the game, and the experience with the time, they'll pick the experience with time. Just to pick on what Kianda talked about, I think the men's side, something is being done. I saw the Trailblazers. Is a team that is played in their debutant season in the men's volleyball, and they were in the podium. They were the third in that league, even when they took on the playoffs. So something is being done. As much as we are pushing the men's agenda in volleyball, I think something is being done. They are doing things very differently. I went to their training session, and you could see them doing things totally different, and kudos to Trailblazers. Just to pick on...
Let me ask you, how different, what difference are you saying? How are they doing it different?
Well, it's just technology. They're embracing technology. I went to their training session, and they are very thorough in the body structures of these players, the kind of nutrition they take. Totally different. I've visited several...
Better see the results soon.
But yes, and there is also a
sense. Could it be attributed to the specialist coaches advanced by FIVB, probably, to the team?
No, the Trailblazers, they don't have any specialized coach seconded by the world body, but there's the guy behind the team. You can see things totally different. For example, they have a nutritionist who specializes on each and every player. The body structure, I never thought of that in volleyball, but they look at the body structure and give you the tips and ways to try and improve your performance on the pitch, going by your body structure. These are things that perhaps have not been really done, but that's why you see that the Trailblazers, this is their first season. They picked players who were dropped from the various top teams in Kenya, and the guy behind it injected a lot of finances into the team, and they were number 3 in the season. So basically you're seeing things being done differently and results are coming.
But the fact that GSU have dominated the last 5 years, don't you think there's lack of competition also in their league?
I think Trailblazers will break that jinx because the first season, they are they were in the playoffs and they were in the top 3. Just watch Trailblazers and you'll see performance.
I think if they don't scout, if there's someone in the Volleyball Federation or in charge of any volleyball team in the country, and he wasn't at Nakuru to watch Cheptil, he wasn't in Kakamega to watch Malava boys play, he's not in Arusha at the moment to watch, I mean, the stagnation, and that's a fact. For us to have excitement, the reason why Malkia Strikers are exciting to watch, because there's always fresh blood being injected. And that comes with proper scouting. And that's why I'm like, if Bitok was in the country, it could have been in Nakuru, it could have been in Arusha, as you're speaking. So if there's no one in the men's side who is in Arusha and wasn't in Nakuru, and you're not going to see any new blood being injected in different teams, stagnation.
And he said Trailblazers picked players that were dropped.
Yeah, that's recycling.
Recycling.
No, it is not recycling.
Basically, gentlemen, we'll have to move forward. But of course, we have the East African School Games ongoing in Arusha, Tanzania, and we have lots of our team there. But now let's cross the borders and go to Europe, where, of course,